Did you know Argentina's inflation rate hit over 100% in 2024? That's right. What does that mean for the average citizen? Imagine the cost of your groceries doubling in just 1 year. What's happening to a country once one of the wealthiest in Latin America? Let's step back and understand how Argentina got to this point. We're talking about a nation with a history of boom and bust, but right now it seems like the bust is outweighing the boom. Why is that? Historical context. We must start with Argentina's historical economic fluctuations to understand the current crisis. Argentina has long fluctuated between growth and economic downturn periods. In the 20th century, it was a regional powerhouse with strong industries like agriculture, beef exports, and even a growing industrial sector. At its peak, Argentina's economy was one of the wealthiest in Latin America, attracting investments and trade worldwide. However, this prosperity did not last. Over the last several decades, Argentina has experienced economic mismanagement, political instability, and rising debt levels that slowly eroded its wealth. Argentina has defaulted on its debt 9 times in the past 100 years, highlighting the difficulty of keeping the economy stable despite government overspending and borrowing. In the 1990s, Argentina pegged its currency to the dollar to stabilize the economy. This policy initially worked, but it led to a crisis in 2001 when the country couldn't pay its debts, resulting in one of the worst economic collapses in modern history. The scars of this collapse are still fresh in the minds of Argentinians, and many point to this as the beginning of the downward spiral. Inflation crisis. Now, let's dive deeper into one of the most alarming aspects of the current crisis: hyperinflation. Inflation isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It directly impacts people's everyday lives. In 2024, Argentina's inflation rate is hovering at a staggering 100%, meaning that prices are doubling in some sectors while wages stay stagnant. This creates a vicious cycle. Wages don't keep up with prices, and as a result, purchasing power collapses. Imagine this: if you're earning $1,000 a month after 1 year of inflation, that paycheck only buys you half of what it used to. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a disaster. Essential goods like food, medicine, and transportation are becoming luxuries for many. The average Argentine household spends more than half its income on food, and the rising prices force families to cut back on essential items. Gasoline, a basic necessity, has also seen dramatic price increases. The government is printing more money to cover its deficits, but this only fuels inflation further. Prices keep rising because the value of the peso keeps falling. The Argentine peso has lost over 80% of its value against the US dollar in just the last 5 years. And here's the kicker: if inflation keeps up at this pace, everyday items will continue to become unaffordable, making it nearly impossible for families to survive. Currency struggles. The peso's devaluation is one of Argentina's most visible signs of economic distress. In 2024, the Argentine peso has become almost worthless compared to the US dollar. The peso has lost more than 80% of its value against the dollar since 2019 and continues to spiral downward. So why is this happening? First, Argentina's monetary policy has been a major factor in the peso's collapse. In an attempt to stabilize the economy, the government has printed more money to meet its obligations and cover deficits. However, this excessive printing of money has led to inflation, eroding the currency's value. Moreover, Argentina is highly dependent on imports. As the peso weakens, imports become much more expensive, and the country's trade deficit grows. This imbalance creates a negative cycle. The country becomes more reliant on foreign goods and services, but it has less ability to pay for them because its currency is losing value. As a result, many Argentinians have turned to the US dollar as a safe haven currency. The demand for US dollars has grown so high that many businesses and individuals are pricing goods and services in dollars to avoid the peso's devaluation. This creates a dual currency economy where the peso and dollar coexist, making it even harder for the government to control inflation. inflation and stabilize the economy. Government and debt. Speaking of government, what is the Argentine government doing to tackle this crisis? The answer is not much. The government has tried everything from raising taxes to borrowing even more money. But the problem with this strategy is apparent. It's a dead end. Argentina's debt-to-GDP ratio is one of the highest in the world. The country owes billions to international lenders like the IMF. And just when it seemed like Argentina might be able to recover, the government continued printing money to finance its deficit, which only fueled the inflation fire. Unemployment and poverty. The economic crisis is hitting the poorest Argentinians the hardest. Did you know that over 40% of Argentinians are living below the poverty line? And the numbers are growing. With unemployment rates skyrocketing, it's becoming increasingly difficult for people to find stable work. The country's job market is shrinking, which is especially problematic for young people entering the workforce. What's even worse is that youth unemployment is extremely high, with many young people struggling to find meaningful employment. The rising cost of living compounds Argentina's poverty problem. Even those with jobs find it difficult to make ends meet. Argentina's resilience and potential solutions. Despite the economic turmoil, the country has shown remarkable resilience. Argentinians have a long history of overcoming adversity, and this crisis may be no different. One key area where Argentina can find relief is its agricultural sector. The country is one of the world's leading soybeans, wheat, and corn producers. By focusing on agricultural exports, Argentina could attract much-needed foreign currency and begin to rebuild its currency reserves. This could stabilize the peso and help restore some confidence in the economy. Another potential solution is a comprehensive fiscal reform. Argentina needs to address its unsustainable debt and tackle government overspending. Reforming the tax system and cutting wasteful subsidies would help free up resources for investment in infrastructure and social programs. However, these reforms will be painfully slow and will take years to see tangible benefits. Finally, Argentina must strike better deals with international creditors. The IMF and other lenders must offer more lenient terms to allow Argentina to pay its debt while avoiding further austerity. So, is Argentina doomed to remain trapped in a cycle of debt, inflation, and poverty? Or can the country finally break free? The path to recovery will not be easy, but there is hope. With the right policies and a united effort from both the government and the people, Argentina has the potential to turn its economy around. Will they rise to the occasion? Only time will tell. In conclusion, Argentina is a country at a crossroads. Its economic crisis is severe, but not beyond recovery. The solutions are clear, but the challenge lies in implementing the necessary reforms and attracting investment to rebuild the economy. If the government can reform fiscal policies, stabilize the currency, and restore public confidence, Argentina could rise from the ashes and emerge stronger. If you found this deep dive into Argentina's economic crisis fascinating, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more updates. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Argentina can bounce back, or is the damage irreversible? Drop a comment below and join the conversation.